Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Valentine gives Jason information on Brennan, and Nina looks for dirt on Drew. On General Hospital today, Laura faces a new threat from a city councilman. Drew holds his press conference as Portia goes through Drew's medical records. Kai and Trina arrived at the hospital. Kai has removed his sling and admits that he is apprehensive about the press presentation and does not want to disappoint Drew. She promises him he'll be great and not to worry about Drew. Jordan and Curtis arrive, and Jordan still can't believe Curtis is covering Drew. Curtis assures Jordan that he will let Drew think he has won. Jordan claims Drew will continue to hate him and blame him for what he has lost. Curtis knows that Drew's inflated ego will eventually cause him to make a major mistake and cross a line. Drew drives everyone crazy in Portia's office. Drew gives her advice on how to introduce himself and reminds her that today is all about the kids. Portia informs him that she has fulfilled all of his wishes, so he should accept victory. He tells her that he is the one who keeps her from being held accountable for the crimes she committed, so stop seeing him as an adversary and start treating him as a friend. He departs, leaving Portia to examine Drew's file. Jordan goes to check on Portia, and Drew encourages Kai. Drew questions Kai about his future intentions and advises him to consider using his natural charisma to enter politics. Meanwhile, Trina informs Curtis that Kai believes Drew is trustworthy, despite the fact that they know he is not. She believes she should have warned him. Councilman Ezra Boyle enters and greets Drew, stating that this will be a fantastic day for Port Charles. When Curtis sees them together, he informs Trina that he knows exactly what to do with Drew. Curtis approaches Drew, Ezra, and Kai, requesting to borrow Kai. They take a step back, and Ezra tells Drew that he made the right decision in choosing Kai as a representative, and that what happened on the Esplanade is unfortunate. Ezra accuses Laura's attachment to Sunny of being the reason they couldn't move it. Curtis cautions Kai that Drew is not who he believes he is. Drew will promise him anything to obtain what he wants, but he will never keep the promises. He asks Kai to be cautious. Curtis believes that the hospital's sports project is a wonderful thing and that Drew should not interfere with it. Jordan visits Portia in her office, where the doctor is still reading a dossier on Drew. Jordan admits she's surprised Portia hasn't assigned Terry this press conference duty, but Portia argues it's good for the hospital and she and Curtis agree on her handling it. Portia and Jordan travel to the location of the press presentation. Portia notices Curtis with Kai and asks Trina what's going on. Trina says Curtis is informing him about Drew. The press conference occurs off-screen. Drew compliments Kai on his performance, and Curtis informs Trina that Kai is quite impressive. Meanwhile, Ezra gushes to Portia about how wonderful this will be for Port Charles and the hospital. Lucas lectures Carly in her room while she has a nightmare about the poisoning and wakes up calling Jack's name. Lucas stands at the door, saying, "No such luck, it's just me." "Your baby brother." Lucas chastises Carly for not listening to everyone who has warned her to avoid Brennan. Carly assures him that Valentine, not Jack, is at fault. Carly claims she heard it all from Felicia last night. She describes Jack as a beautiful man who was interested in her, and she wanted to see where it went. She claims it was going well until it wasn't. Lucas wants her to be happy, but advises her to date someone who won't kill her, such as a dentist. He informs Carly that dating Brennan is bad for her and her health, and that he is one of many people that rely on her and require her presence. Willow has made up her mind at Drew's house. Willow informs Nina that she and Drew discussed the situation and that there is no reason she should not move in. Willow claims she understands what she's doing and urges Nina to trust her. Willow states that she will contact Michael and inform him that they cannot live in limbo because they don't know when he will return home. Nina once again claims that if she moves in with Drew, she will lose her children. Nina claims Michael has been through a life-changing event, and he will not come out of it believing the world is lovely. Willow remains skeptical that Michael will file for custody, and Drew would never let him take the children away from her. She needs to rush to Wiley's school for a conference, but she is confident that they will be pleased here and that everything will be okay. Christina lashes out at Ava, again at Alexis' office. Christina delivers her mother coffee and notices something is wrong. Alexis claims it's Valentine. He wants her to represent him and he wants to be free. That is something she cannot do because he accidentally poisoned Carly, who was not his intended victim. Christina inquires whether he does not have a lawyer. Alexis claims he does, but Martin is a completely different story. Suddenly, Ava appears eager to speak with Alexis, only to discover Christina also present. Ava promises she'll return, but Alexis asks what she wants. Ava emphasizes that this is a legal problem. She requests to speak privately, but Christina declines, and Alexis comments that Ava is not her client. Ava brings up her divorce settlement, and if Alexis could negotiate a loan from the estate, she would gladly repay it with interest. Christina shouts, "There is no way in hell my mother is giving a dime to the woman who killed her grandchild." Ava explains that it was an accident, and Christina tripped over baggage. She informs Alexis that she would not be here if it wasn't her last resort, and that if she doesn't pay her back taxes, the IRS will seize her assets. Alexis reminds Ava that she had to say no for her daughter's sake. Ava reminds her that feeding Christina's illusions is not helping her. Christina isn't acting rationally, and Alexis knows it. Ava storms out. Jason receives answers at the PCPD. Jason meets with Valentine, who wants to know what Morgan wants. Jason wants Valentine to reveal everything he knows about Jack Brennan. Valentine has known Jack for 20 years and had never seen him afraid until last night. He'll offer him leverage against Jack, but he'll need Jason to help him get out. Jason claims that will not happen, but he will owe him a favor in the future. That is all he can provide. Valentine accepts Jason's offer. He informs him that Brennan is a businessman, and that just because he is in Port Charles and only a station chief does not mean he is not the WSB's president. Valentine claims that his presence here is a cover, as he has a lot of blood on his hands and many people want him dead. Up until today, Jack had only cared about the WSB. Last night, Jack attempted to kill him, not for the WSB, but because of what happened to Carly. Jason praises him for the information, but Valentine tells him that Jack always gets what he wants, which for now is Carly. He claims Jack isn't above using the WSB to get her either, unless Jason steps in. Jason understands that would meet Valentine's desires. Valentine begs him to think about Carly, who will finally be secure. Later, Alexis visits Valentine, presuming he needs her to represent him. Valentine informs Alexis that she is an excellent lawyer, but even she cannot save him. Alexis wonders why she's here now. Valentine requires her to complete another task. Lucky lends a hand. Lucky surprises Liz at her home with Eckhart's donuts. Lucky knew they had plans for last night, so why didn't she wake him up when he fell asleep on her couch? She jokes that you should never wake a patient. Lucky claims his neck is a little twisted up from her couch. She massages it and recommends that he sleep upstairs next time. Lucky is relieved to hear that there will be another chance, and he is relieved that she understands that his feelings for her are genuine and unchanging. Liz feels the same way, so they kiss. Liz has to go to work, so Lucky volunteers to stay and try to fix her freezer. Liz leaves, and Lucky receives a text message from Christina, who requests to meet him right now. Christina quickly arrives, having misplaced her key to Charlie's rear door. Lucky loans her his and notices something amiss with her. Christina tells Lucky that her father has heart problems and needs surgery, which is why he settled his custody dispute with Ava. It was to avoid tension. It turns out that Ava cannot afford to care for her daughter and does not deserve to have her. Ava has yet to pay for snatching her kid from her. Lucky advises her there isn't much she can do about Ava and that she should consider what her daughter would want. Would she prefer to be consumed by hatred or discover peace? Christina says she's trying to move on, but she can't. More drama at the hospital. Back in the hospital, Liz asks Lucas about Miami. Lucas tells her about Marco, who could be the man of his dreams. Unfortunately, he drank so much that he became ill all over himself. However, Marco resides in Miami and will most likely never see him again. Liz laughs, if only there was a way to communicate and travel long distances. She also informs him that his aunt has been searching for him. Portia returns to her office and begins reading Drew's paperwork. Ava arrives to check on Portia after seeing the end of the press conference. Portia says it was horrible watching Drew parade Kai in front of those reporters, and she had to sit back and let Drew use him to repair his reputation. Ava understands she can't say anything since Drew has her exactly where he wants her. Portia adds, or so he thinks. Ava urges her to be cautious since she could lose everything, and Trina would blame herself for her mother's test tampering. Drew then appears and thanks Portia, saying he couldn't have done it without her. Drew exits, and Ava notices that he is upbeat. The camera moves to Drew's file on Portia's desk. Trina compliments Kai on how well he performed throughout the conference. Kai claims her father warned him about Drew and advised him to be cautious. Trina believes, based on what she just witnessed, he could run for office someday. They kiss. Ezra says it was good to meet Jordan today, but the mayor should have been here. He observes Laura's recent willingness to delegate all of her responsibilities to her deputy mayor. Curtis interrupts to speak with Jordan, and Ezra leaves. Jordan praises him for sparing her from that shady business and claims he has it out for Laura. Jason enters Carly's room and inquires about her well-being. She claims Lucas has just left and is unhappy with her, so she does not want a lecture on Jack from him. Jason informs her that there is no lecture. She and Brennan are finished. He cautions her that she must not come into contact with him again, as her life is at stake. Nina returns to Drew's residence and borrows a spare key from Willow to enter. She goes to the safe to check through it. She discovers a sum of cash and starts browsing through folders. On the next General Hospital, Liz questions Lucas and demands to know what is wrong. Willow tells Nina, whatever you say, I'm not going to believe it. Brennan warns Joss. General Hospital spoilers for Monday, March 24th, Willow busts Nina, Carly's plea to Jason, and Brennan warns Jocelyn. General Hospital spoilers for Monday, March 24th, state that Willow Corinthos will confront Nina Reeves, while Carly Spencer makes a plea to Jason Morgan. Jack Brennan will also warn Jocelyn Jacks, so here's what GH viewers might expect. First, Ava Jerome will warn Portia Robinson not to let her fear drive her to make foolish decisions. Portia definitely has a plan to retaliate against Drew Quartermaine, and it appears to involve his medical records, as she has been checking into it. However, Ava will have a bad feeling about Portia's next move and will try to stop it before it blows up in her face. At the PCPD, Alexis Davis will inquire as to what Valentine Cassadine believes she is capable of. Valentine understands that Alexis cannot grant him freedom, yet he still expects her to do a favor for him. This would most likely involve Charlotte Cassadine, since Valentine will want to ensure her well-being now that he has been sentenced for all of his crimes. At GH, Elizabeth Baldwin will insist that if something is wrong, she has to know. Liz will reportedly question Lucas Jonas about Brad Cooper's dodgy behavior and put him on the spot. Willow appears to have caught Nina in the middle of her safe hunt and is upset about her mother's goal at Drew's residence. Whatever you say, I'm not going to believe it, Willow declares in Monday's promotional video. Willow will not be interested in Nina's reasons and may attempt to explain away any evidence Nina has against Drew. Nina will be desperate to show Willow who Drew truly is, so expect some difficult situations. Could Nina reveal her hookups with Drew as a final resort? Jocelyn will next meet with Brennan, who will warn her that if she informs Carly about any of this, she will never be a WSB agent. Although Jocelyn will be unhappy with concealing secrets from her mother, she appears to understand that it is simply part of the job. Nonetheless, Jocelyn is certain to have questions and concerns about Carly's polonium poisoning incident. Jocelyn may lash out since Brennan endangered Carly as a result of his feud with Valentine. Meanwhile, Jason will remain firm with Carly at the hospital, attempting to persuade her that she must end her relationship with Brennan. According to Jason, Carly's life relies on it, but she refuses to give up Brennan. Carly will still want a romance with Brennan, but she does not want it to jeopardize her relationship with Jason. Carly will remind Jason that he has never quit on her before and will implore him not to do so now. According to General Hospital spoilers, Jason will continue to believe Carly is on the verge of disaster if she stays with Brennan, so stay tuned for any bad news. General Hospital spoilers, Nina and Drew's secret is out. According to General Hospital spoilers, this must be Port Charles's worst-kept secret. General Hospital spoilers, Nina and Drew's secret is out, of course. We are talking about Nina and Drew having a little something going on behind Willow's back. And it appears that everyone in Port Charles is aware of this, with the exception of Willow and Jason and Carly. However, General Hospital spoilers suggest that the secret will soon be revealed. And when that happens, you can know that fireworks will go off. Willow is incapable of dealing with the truth. Many GH fans had a lot to say about the situation on social media. Some have even said, people who know for a fact are Ava, Maxie, Sasha, Cody, Ned, Tracy, Curtis, and Jordan. Carly, BLQ, Portia, and Michael may have known something was going on because they made comments. Another fan wrote, also, every viewer seems to forget that Willow might know because she overheard a conversation between Nina and Sasha at the Q's where Nina said maybe after he wins his Congress seat they can explore what they are. General Hospital spoilers, what's next for Nina and Drew? That was all Willow heard, and she and Nina were still not close, so she only knew what she overheard and didn't ask about it. There was also this comment, Sasha told Cody, who announced it when he got into the fight with Drew. The PI that Ned hired filmed the fight, and we saw Ned and Tracy watch it. They only questioned Drew about Willow, but they appeared to be neglecting the notion that they should also be aware of Nina. Promise breakers, serious warnings, and secrets revealed. Curtis Ashford accuses someone of breaking a promise, Nina Reeves issues a serious warning, and Valentine Cassadine discloses someone's secret. Promise breakers Curtis speaks with Kai Taylor about the promises that have been made, warning him that such commitments are likely to be broken. Drew Quartermain had convinced Kai that he was involved in a program to help youngsters. Curtis, on the other hand, does not trust Drew, comparing him to a counterfeit dollar bill, and warns a surprised Kai that Drew has no intention of keeping his promise. Despite this, Kai had no reason to question the doubtful congressman, especially because Trina Robinson considered him a friend. Drew was also part of the squad that freed Liesl Albrecht and then Trina, as well as Spencer Cassadine and newborn Ace Cassadine. Serious warnings elsewhere, Nina issues a serious warning to Willow Corinthos, who appears worried by her mother's concerns. Will Willow accept her mother's urgent advice, or will she continue obsessed with Drew? Nina makes it plain that if Willow continues on this path, she will risk losing her children. Although Nina is concerned about Willow's dread, she understands that inaction might have disastrous effects. Nina is very concerned in this unpleasant circumstance because it involves her grandkids. At GH, Drew appears to reject Portia Robinson's warning to grasp the opportunity. He scoffs and retorts, or what? Essentially, Drew is putting pressure on Portia to work with him against Curtis. Portia very obviously believes she has some sway over him in this situation, or she wouldn't be telling him to take the win. Drew is already surrounded by a growing number of foes, and that number is rapidly increasing. He is unlikely to take Portia's counsel more seriously than other people's cautions. Carly explains things to Lucas. Lucas Jones has returned to Port Charles and is currently seeing Carly Spencer in the hospital. Someone has clearly communicated their suspicions about Jack Brennan with Lucas, who sends this knowledge to Carly. However, Carly is apprehensive. Even Isaiah Gannon had reservations about Brennan while treating Carly for polonium sickness. Carly, frustrated, explains to Lucas that Jack is not the real threat, Valentine is. Meanwhile, it appears that not everyone in the Port Charles Police Department shares Carly's confidence. Secrets revealed Valentine is still in the interrogation room of the PCPD, approached by an unexpected questioner, Jason Morgan. Valentine inquires about Jason's intentions, and Jason demands every information Valentine possesses on Jack Brennan. Jason did not ensure that Brennan fulfilled the task of removing Valentine as directed by Sonny Corinthos. He had, however, been listening in on Brennan and Valentine's talk, taking note of Valentine's assertion that Brennan had endangered Charlotte Cassadine. Valentine appears to be willing to reveal all of Brennan's secrets, despite Jason's knowledge that Brennan cannot be trusted. General Hospital spoilers, Lulu is an awful parent to Rocco. According to General Hospital spoilers, Lulu appears to be a dreadful parent to Rocco. Or at least that's how viewers perceive it. General Hospital spoilers, Lulu is being an awful parent to Rocco. In the most recent episodes of General Hospital, Lulu makes it apparent that she wants Rocco to live with her. Despite the fact that Rocco is now a teenager, neither she nor Dante attempted to talk to him about his plans. Rocco is currently 16, and the courts would allow him to make his own living arrangements. Furthermore, it has been pointed out that Lulu has not been in Rocco's life for the past 4 years, and that they need to get to know each other before living together again. It goes without saying that this plotline has sparked a lot of discussion among General Hospital fans. Some have even stated there's a major gap between her and Rocco. I don't understand why they're writing like way. She resembles a bull in a china cabinet. I don't appreciate her smiling at Chase when he's defending his wife in a serious debate. Another reader added, it doesn't make sense why he can't go back and forth, soap operas usually do this, and it irritates me. It's not like Dante and Lulu live in different towns or states, forcing Rocco to choose one to live with the majority of the time and only see the other during the summer and long school holidays. General Hospital spoilers, what's next for Rocco? There was also this comment, it should definitely be 50-50, or whatever Rocco wants. I know Lulu hasn't been in his life in 4 years due to her coma, but before that, Rocco spent every day of his life with her because she and Dante were either married or Dante was on his WSB mission / getting PTSD therapy. Daniel Cosgrove opens up about joining General Hospital. Daniel Cosgrove is adding another daytime drama to his extensive CV. The actor will join the set of General Hospital as politician Ezra Boyle on Friday, March 21st. He is part of the political storyline, and he's a consummate politician, Cosgrove told TV Insider. At first, he appears to be aligned with Drew Quartermaine, and there's some shenanigans going on, but the character is kind of mixing it up with a lot of the cast, from Jeannie Francis, Mayor Collins, to the Quartermaines, and just kind of creating a little bit of a thorn in the side of some of the good folk of Port Charles. He comes out as a little pompous and full of himself, but it's been a lot of fun thus far. I'm working with such a terrific group. Given his soap opera background, Cosgrove has worked with several of the performers on the cast before. He began his daytime career in 1996 as Scott Chandler on All My Children, before joining the cast of Guiding Light as Bill Lewis III in 2002. The actor took over the role of Chris Hughes on As the World Turns in 2010 for the show's finale, then returned to Pine Valley briefly before moving to Salem to play Aidan Jennings on Days of Our Lives from 2014 to 2016. Cosgrove originally auditioned for the recasting of Jack Brennan, which involved reading alongside Laura Wright, whom he had previously worked with on GL as Cassie. And now that he's been cast as this politician, he'll be sharing scenes with his old AMC co-star Cameron Matheson, who portrayed Ryan on the ABC soap opera. The actor further claimed that this is not only his comeback to daylight, but also his return to acting after a hiatus to teach acting and sell Jeeps. I haven't been auditioning, Cosgrove admitted. I took time off during the actors' strike in 2023. I obtained a legitimate job, and I thought I was done with the business. And then this rekindled something in me, such admiration, joy, and love. I mean, I get to work early, and I don't want to sound cliché, but every day is a blessing. Broken promises, motherly warnings, and revealed secrets. Curtis Ashford warns of broken pledges, Nina Reeves issues a motherly warning, and Valentine Cassadine is asked to divulge his revealed secrets. Broken promises. Curtis speaks with Kai Taylor about promises made and cautions him that they will be broken. Drew Quartermaine had promised Kai that he would participate in a children's charity initiative. Curtis, on the other hand, trusts Drew about as much as he trusts a counterfeit dollar, and he tells a stunned Kai that he has no intention of keeping his promises. Kai had no reason not to believe the dishonest congressman, and Trina Robinson trusted him as a friend. However, he was just part of a squad who rescued Liesl Albrecht and, eventually, Trina herself, Spencer Cassadine, and newborn Ace Cassadine from Greenland. Elsewhere, Nina issues a motherly caution to Willow Corinthos, who appears concerned by it. Will she heed her mother's urgent counsel or continue to revere the earth Drew walks on? Nina makes it clear that if she does this, she will lose her children. Nina may be concerned since Willow appears to be terrified, but if she does not intervene, that is what will happen. Nina is also concerned about losing her grandkids, so she has a vested interest in this tragic game. Drew blows Portia off. Meanwhile, at GH, Drew appears to dismiss Portia Robinson when she urges him to take the win. He scoffs and asks, or what? Drew is basically blackmailing Portia into working with him against Curtis. Portia appears to believe she has an advantage over him, otherwise she would not be making the suggestion. Drew already has a slew of foes stacked against him, and the number is rapidly growing. Drew is unlikely to take anything Portia says seriously, any more than he does any other cautions. Lucas Jones has returned to Port Charles and is seeing Carly Spencer at the hospital. Someone has definitely been speaking with Lucas about their distrust of Jack Brennan, and Lucas informs Carly. Carly doesn't believe it. Even Isaiah Gannon gave Brennan the side-eye when treating her for polonium poisoning. Carly is agitated and forceful as she informs Lucas that Jack is not the threat, Valentine is. However, it is clear that someone at the Port Charles Police Department isn't so sure. Valentine is still in the PCPD's interview chamber, facing an unusual interrogator, Jason Morgan. Valentine asks Jason, "So, what do you want?" Jason wants all he knows about Jack Brennan. Jason didn't quite ensure Brennan finished the job of assassinating Valentine as Sonny Corinthos had instructed him. But he had been listening to Brennan and Valentine's chat, and he was particularly struck by Valentine's claim that Brennan had endangered Charlotte Cassadine. Valentine appears to be spilling all of Brennan's revealed secrets, as Jason is aware that Brennan cannot be trusted. Jason orders Carly to stop seeing Jack, Nina breaks into Drew's safe, and Jordan complains about Ezra's sliminess. Nina sneaks into Drew's, Alexis refuses to assist Ava, and Curtis cautions Kai not to trust Drew. Kai and Trina are in GH. He admits that he is worried about talking to media today and does not want to disappoint Drew. She promises him that he would be amazing. They discuss how unusual it is for him to wear a suit. She admires his upbeat attitude. He kisses her and tells her that everything is up to her. In her office, Portia listens to Drew's instructions on dealing with the press. He assures her that his goal is not to wreck her life, but rather to save her from paying for her crimes. Drew asks her to think of him as a friend and goes away. As she goes through her files, she comes across his. Jordan and Curtis convince themselves that supporting this is acceptable because it benefits a great cause. Curtis also believes Drew will benefit from believing he has the upper hand for the time being. Kai and Trina join them, and Drew walks over while everyone rolls their eyes. Jordan moves away to check on Portia, as Kai and Drew step aside to converse. Trina expresses concern to Curtis that Kai trusts Drew. Drew, across the room, assures Kai that he will do well and inquires about his future intentions. He encourages him to exploit his charisma. Ezra Boyle approaches and shakes Kai's hand. Curtis approaches Kai and leads him away for a word. Ezra and Drew discuss the esplanade. Ezra hopes Laura had not let her relationship with Sonny get in the way of it. Curtis advises Kai to be cautious and warns that Drew will make numerous promises that he will not keep. Kai wonders if he should back out of this, but Curtis simply advises him to remain vigilant. Jordan walks into Portia's workplace to tell her it's almost time. She inquires whether the doctor is still on board with this rather than delegating it to Terry. Portia isn't backing down. They join the others, and Portia reminds her daughter that they all need to get along for the time being. After the press conference, Drew compliments Kai on his performance. Curtis and Trina also discuss how fantastic Kai was and observe Portia conversing with Ezra in the corner. Carly had a dream in her room about ingesting poison. She awakens as Lucas enters the room. Carly informs her brother that the poisoning was a mistake and that her connection with Jack is private. Lucas points out that she almost died after sleeping with the man, and this is now a major law enforcement issue. He informs her that Valentine is currently in arrest, but this does not guarantee her safety. She's already heard it all from Felicia. A stunning spy wanted to seduce her, and it was fantastic. Carly wonders why he's so worked up. Her brother believes she would tell him that this was an isolated incident. He is on the extensive list of persons who require her services. Willow advises Nina that she does not need a real estate agent, but rather a mover. Drew chose an ideal house. She does not want her mother to go through the trouble of buying a new home. The children will be pleased there. Willow intends to contact Michael, but she does not want the children to remain in limbo. Willow's mother proposes she have a lawyer meet with Michael, but Willow believes this will exacerbate the situation. She warns her that if she lives with Drew, she will lose her children. Nina doubts Michael will return, believing life is good and bygones should be bygones. Willow is confident Drew would never allow Michael separate the children from her. She's sure they will all be thrilled. After Willow departs, Nina sneaks back in and searches Drew's safe. Christina arrives at her mother's office with coffee. Alexis informs her about Valentine's position. He wants her to protect him. He's in a bad place, and Martin isn't around. Ava rushes in and discovers Christina is present. She offers to return, but Alexis rejects her. Ava states she's accepted that she won't receive any Cassadine monies, but she has financial obligations and requests a loan from the estate. Christina leaps up, saying her mother will not give $1 to the lady who killed her grandchild. Ava claims she will lose the majority of her remaining assets if she is unable to make payments. Alexis declines as a mother. Ava realizes that doing anything to protect her child is important, but feeding their delusions does not help them. Liz is taken aback when she realizes Lucky has left her apartment without saying goodbye. He runs through the door carrying donuts. He questions why she let him sleep in yesterday night. She quips about never waking a patient. After he complains about his neck aching, she massages him and proposes that he sleep upstairs the next time. Lucky informs her that his feelings for her are genuine. She feels the same way. They kiss. The nurse wants to get to work, so he offers to fix her freezer. Christina texts him and says she needs him. She comes over to retrieve the keys to Charlie's and immediately starts talking about her father's heart problems. Christina begins raving about Ava and the fact that she has yet to pay for her daughter's murder. Lucky assures her there is nothing she can do. She isn't sure she can accept it. He asks whether her daughter wants her to find peace and encourages her to let go. She tries every second, but she cannot. When Valentine is led into the PCPD interrogation room, he is shocked to see Jason waiting and remarks that going to assassinate him there would be brave. Jason asks him for everything he knows about Jack. Valentine explains that he noticed Jack appearing afraid for the first time last night. The Cassadine gives him any dirt he wants if he breaks him out. Jason's greatest option is to do a favor. Valentine agrees after some thought and argues that Jack may just be pretending not to be the leader of the WSB. Station commanders cannot order drone strikes. Many people want him dead. Brennan had previously focused solely on the WSB. He now cares for Carly. He threatens Jack that he will use whatever instrument he needs to keep Carly. The only way this won't happen is if Jason steps in. After Jason leaves, Alexis enters, and Valentine explains that he does not need her to be his defense, but rather to do something different. Jason goes into Carly's hospital room and informs her that she can no longer visit Jack. Her life depends on it. Liz starts working at GH, and Lucas tells her about meeting his ideal man and then being sick on him. Marco lives in Miami, so he'll probably never see him again. Liz informs him that there are methods to go large distances. Ava drops by Portia's office and talks about the press conference. Portia admits it was terrible to be there with Drew. They discuss how Quartermain has her under his thumb. Or so he thinks, Portia explains. Drew stops by and praises Portia for her assistance at the press conference. After he goes, Ava remarks that anyone would think they were thick as thieves. Portia stares at Drew's file. Trina compliments Kai on how well he performed during the press conference. She believes he could run for office one day. Ezra corners Jordan and makes a snide remark about Laura not showing up. He leaves for a union meeting as Curtis arrives. Jordan claims Ezra is dull, dumb, slimy, and gunning for Laura. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.